Are you sure this is the right tutor? The CEO's voice was full of doubt as he eyed the young woman standing in front of him. She was just 19, tall, with deep brown skin and natural curls, wearing a modest dress. To most people in the room, she was invisible. To them, she wasn't worthy of even a second glance. But when she opened her mouth to speak, "Good afternoon, I'm here to help your son, and I promise you he'll be fluent in 5 languages by the time I'm done." The room froze. Everyone looked at each other. Was she serious? They laughed. But what they didn't know was that this black girl wasn't just a tutor. She was about to flip the script and show them all what it meant to underestimate her. If this story already has you intrigued, don't go anywhere. Hit that like button, subscribe to the Black Chronicles channel, and turn on notifications, because what happens next will leave you speechless. Trust me, you won't want to miss the turn this story takes. Now let's dive in. It was supposed to be a simple job. Amara Carter was a young woman who believed in one thing: the power of education. When she was offered the power to tutor the CEO's son, a high-profile tech mogul named Richard Matthews, she was excited. The money would help her pay for college. But when she arrived at the Matthews mansion, she quickly realized that not everyone was as excited about her presence as she was. Richard's wife, Lily, greeted her with a look of disdain. "Are you sure you can handle this?" she asked, eyeing Amara's modest attire. "He's a very special case." Amara just nodded, keeping her calm. She knew what they were thinking. She had been in their shoes before. The quiet judgments, the assumptions about her based on the color of her skin and the clothes she wore. But she wasn't there to prove anything to them. She was there for one reason: to help Richard's son, Lucas, learn 5 languages and prove them all wrong. But as soon as she started the first lesson, she knew something wasn't right. Lucas didn't want to learn. He didn't care. And the more she tried to teach him, the more he mocked her attempts. She tried again. But this time, something changed in him. Something sparked in Lucas's eyes. What did she say to him that made him finally speak? Amara returned the next day, hoping for a better outcome. But Lucas wasn't making any progress. He would sit there, tapping his pencil, rolling his eyes, making snide comments under his breath. Amara's patience was being tested, but she refused to give up. She saw something in Lucas, something that no one else had noticed. Behind the sarcasm and disinterest, there was brilliance waiting to be unlocked. As the days went on, Lucas's behavior worsened. He made fun of her accent, called her a wannabe teacher, and even told his father she wasn't good enough. The Matthews family started questioning her qualifications. They doubted her ability to get Lucas to speak anything more than 1 language, let alone 5. They began to scrutinize every move she made, finding faults in everything from her teaching style to her appearance. But Amara didn't back down. She couldn't. One day during a lesson on Spanish, something shifted. Lucas asked her a question in perfect French, and then in German, then Mandarin. Amara was stunned. How did he know all these languages? Lucas smiled slyly. "I was just waiting to see if you could keep up." The truth came out. Lucas had been fluent in 5 languages since he was a child. His parents had no idea. He'd been pretending to be the rebellious, uninterested teenager. But in reality, he was a genius, and he had been playing everyone for a fool. "Why didn't you just tell them?" Amara asked, her voice shaking with disbelief. Lucas shrugged. "I wanted to see what would happen. They were so busy judging you, I thought I'd teach them a lesson." This was the turning point, the moment everything changed. Lucas wasn't just a spoiled brat. He was a young man with an incredible gift, and Amara had unlocked it. But there was one more thing that Amara had to deal with. Richard Matthews, the CEO, was furious. He felt humiliated by his son's prank, and he was ready to fire her. Amara stood in front of Richard Matthews, ready to lose the job she had worked so hard for. But Lucas had a different idea. He stormed into the room with a defiant look in his eyes and said, "Dad, you don't get it. She's the best tutor I've ever had. You've been too busy judging her to see her talent." Richard was speechless. "You don't know anything about her," Lucas continued. "She's the one who taught me to speak French when no one else cared. And she's the one who pushed me to do more than just follow the easy path." The words stung. Richard had underestimated Amara, and now his son was calling him out in front of her. But before Richard could respond, Lucas dropped a bombshell. "Mom, Dad, Amara isn't just a tutor. She's been offered a full scholarship to teach at one of the best universities in the world, and I'm going with her. You are not stopping me." The tension in Richard Matthews' office was unbearable. His son Lucas had just dropped the biggest bombshell of his life, and it was all about Amara. Richard stood there, staring at his son, his face frozen in disbelief. "You're leaving with her?" he asked, his voice a mix of anger and disbelief. Lucas wasn't backing down. "I've learned more in the last few weeks with Amara than I ever did in years of private tutors and elite schools." Amara could feel the weight of the moment. She had fought to be there, to be respected, and now she was on the verge of losing everything. But this time she wasn't going to let anyone silence her. Richard's face reddened. "This is ridiculous, Lucas. I can't let you leave with a girl like her." Amara's heart pounded, but she remained calm. "With all due respect, Mr. Matthews, you are not the one who decides my worth." The room fell into an oppressive silence. Lucas turned to face his father. "I'm going. You can't control me anymore." Richard's eyes flickered with shock, but it was the first time his son had spoken to him like that. Something in him shifted. The arrogant CEO used to controlling everyone now found himself staring at his son, at Amara, and realizing he had been wrong. Amara's moment of clarity came unexpectedly. She didn't need the job. She didn't need their approval. What she needed was to stand up for herself, to show them all that her worth wasn't tied to their opinion of her. She had been underestimated for so long, but now the truth was clear. Amara wasn't just a tutor. She wasn't just some girl teaching a CEO's son. She was the one who had taught Lucas to embrace his potential. She was the one who had unlocked a door that Richard Matthews had tried to keep closed. Richard finally looked at Amara, truly seeing her for the first time. The realization hit him hard. "You're right. I didn't see it before. I'm sorry." But the apology came too late. The damage had been done. Amara didn't respond right away. Instead, she looked at Lucas and said, "You deserve better than this." And with that, she walked out of the office, leaving the Matthews family behind. Lucas followed Amara to the car, his decision already made. He wasn't going to let his father's prejudices hold him back anymore. He was ready to learn, ready to grow. And he was going to do it with Amara by his side. But what happened next shocked everyone. Within days, the story spread across the media. The young black tutor, who had been dismissed as unworthy, was now one of the most sought-after educators in the country. Universities reached out with scholarship offers. Prestigious language schools begged for her to join their ranks, and her name became synonymous with excellence. But Amara's true victory wasn't in the accolades or the offers. It was in seeing Lucas rise above the limitations set by his father. He had chosen his own path, and Amara had given him the courage to do it. Sometimes the world will laugh at you, belittle you, and doubt your abilities, but you don't need their validation to be great. True greatness comes when you rise above the bias, the judgment, and the limitations they try to place on you. It's about trusting in your own potential, even when others don't see it. The moral of the story is clear. Never let anyone define your worth. Only you can do that. And when you find the courage to believe in yourself, the world will have no choice but to respect you. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Black Chronicles channel, and hit the notification bell for more uplifting stories about overcoming the odds. Keep believing in yourself, and remember, the greatest power lies in staying true to who you are.